I'm sorry, guys. Behind the scenes, I'm dying at this freaking music that I uploaded because I clicked the wrong button. So it's got me crying. This is an NFL thing off topic podcast thing going on here. The name of this beat is called Night Driving. Okay, this is like one of the background choices that they give us. But I'm just having fun here, man. So anyway, we got the two regular cast members here. Hope I'm just delete the stream onto this. Anyway, we got my man Jarrell is here on the Giant side, and we got my man Leo here. What's good, Leo?
What up, kid? What's going on, Jarrell?
What in the Kenny G is going on in this life?
I see you guys popping to this shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm listening and say, wait a second, that's the wrong thing.
This shit got
I
fire.
Yeah, I feel like taking all my I actually don't have a pants.
It's gonna be the Die Hard freestyle podcast.
Yeah, man.
It's almost just like a different type of vibe. Die Hard, what? Die Hard, what? What's going on here? Anyway, turn that shit off, man. So what's good, guys?
Good, man. I'm feeling good, brother. I'm feeling good. Happy about the draft. Happy about the season that we getting ready to get into. Looking forward to it, man. That shit was so much fun.
Yeah, man. I'm in good spirits. Like the draft is like my Christmas. So like for 3 days, I just vegged out and locked in on the television screen for like 3 straight days. So I'm just coming up for air today with the work and shit.
I got you, man. Yeah, listen, I boycotted football because of Colin Kaepernick. Okay, I'll tell you.
Really?
I'll just tell you straight up, man. When all that stuff was happening, Colin Kaepernick, all the fucking good old boys out there, giving their opinions and stuff like that. So I, casually just removed myself from the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We got a lot of off topic arguments and stuff too. So you already know the thing, right? So anyway, just this draft when it popped in, just watching the videos and stuff and looking at the prospects and just the little intricacies of it, your eyes started going crazy, especially on Twitter. I was going nuts on Twitter, man. So I know you were at the actual event, right, Lee?
Yeah, I went to the draft party at MetLife, and they let like 5,000-10,000 people in free. They had, it was Giant side and the Jet side, and they had players from both teams signing autographs. They gave like stadium, like locker room tours. They had games for the kids and a whole bunch of cool things to do where you could take pictures and stuff like that. It was really, really dope experience. And unfortunately for the Giants fans, they were upset at how lit the Jets fans were. We got our little JETS Jets chant, right? And then we was rocking the whole night. Everybody was mad excited. Jets side was lit. And here come the old school New York Giants corporate culture. They all quiet and shit, you know what I'm saying? But they were mad. I heard a few of them like, nah, I'm not gonna lie, I ain't gonna front. The Jets shit is lit. I'm hating, man, but the Jets shit is lit.
Y'all was psyched because y'all jumped back up into the first round and everything. It got three first round picks. That's why y'all was all psyched up, man.
From the door. And it was cool because outside, shout out to Gotham City crew. They had like they set up a tailgate party outside and stuff like that, and everybody was tailgating. So it felt like, a real football event. They were giving out T-shirts and all that. It was just a real dope experience to be in there and just watch the draft live. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but I saw the first the Jets pick, and then the Giants picked Kayvon Thibodeau, and the stadium kind of went bananas at that point. The stadium was wild. We were exiting the stadium, and Giants fans were losing it because they were able to get KT.
So you weren't able to see the second pick.
I didn't. I listened to it, but I didn't stay because I had a show that whenever it was that night, so I couldn't stay to see it. But yeah, it was dope. It was a dope experience, man. I would love to do that again. I would definitely do that again next year.
Yeah, I would do it too. She was free, right? You said it was free?
Yeah, it was free.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it. That's dope.
That's the corporate shit. The Giants always think you got to pay for everything. Giants fans, with the merch and all this other stuff. The Giants fans.
This stuff not free, bro. Like we got to pay for this stuff. I didn't think they was gonna give us like a free party for our draft. Like that.
Yeah, they had a DJ. They had a Giants host and a Jets host, and they had some competitions. Of course, the Jets fans wiped the floor
Oh,
with the
word.
Jets.
Word. All right. Yeah, all right. Of course they did, Lee. Of course they did.
But what turned me off with that shit is that like some of the content creators, they get together like I think you mentioned one of them, but like they want you to pay like pay $250 and we'll do this, that, and the other. That's what turned me off about it too. A lot of the
Oh yeah.
content creators do that. To do like basic get-togethers, they make you pay like
Oh no shit.
yeah.
No,
It's
I'm
nice.
not doing that.
Hell no.
I don't like
What you watch?
people. I don't like people enough to pay to go see y'all. That's crazy.
Right.
Like that's nuts. Nah, I'm not doing that.
So where were you at when the draft was going on, Drew?
Oh, I was in my living room chilling. Like I didn't go anywhere, man. I don't never go anywhere for the draft. I don't go to no bar to look at it or nothing, man. I just stay home. I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, so I be having notes and shit and my phone in my hand. Like I gotta pay attention.
Well, what type of notes you got, and what
Just
are you looking for when you see the draft?
well, when it comes to like I actually, even though I'm a Giants fan, like I pay attention to every team and what they need and who I think is coming up next. Like I'm intrigued by the whole process in general, not just for my team. So I
Yeah.
have notes like I know who should have been drafted already when Jermaine Johnson fell when y'all got him at 26, obviously, and I know when y'all got a running back in the second round that could have easily went in the first, and that was a
Yes.
good pick for y'all too. Like I
Yes.
know pretty much where everybody should be drafted. Like
Right.
when it comes to like the all the projections beforehand.
Right.
So I know who usually is supposed to who either should have been drafted before or they just slid for some reason when it comes to like medical stuff. A lot of players slid because of medicals that a lot of people didn't know why they was falling.
Yeah, like Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Jameson Williamson. He fell to Detroit. I mean, he's still a first round
Mm-hmm.
top 15 pick, but yeah, that he probably would have went
Right.
before Drake London and before Garrett Wilson. I'm
The
guessing if had he been fully healthy.
Yep, he'd been a top 10 pick easy.
Yeah.
The one of the linebackers. Matter of fact, he was like the number one linebacker in the country last year when Georgia won the championship. Dean, he
Right.
slid to like the third round, and he slid because a lot of people didn't realize he was injured. Like he injured himself during the
Hmm.
pro day, so
Mm.
he might not even play this year. So we'll have to see like what they say officially when it comes to him.
Wow.
But he
Wow.
slid for a reason. Like he slid from being in top 15 to I forgot exactly what he picked, but the Eagles picked him like in the third or fourth round. One of those, I forgot.
Yeah, the Eagles fans were excited, man.
They
I got
should
a
be
couple
because
of friends who were Eagles fans, and they were amped, and
yeah,
especially for the trade for AJ Brown, that made
right.
it that much sweeter. They didn't even expect that, but
See, I'm a New Yorker that lives in Pennsylvania, so
right, right,
yeah, I
right,
heard
right.
that shit for all weekend. I've been hearing about the
Women in
Eagles.
the
I hate
streets.
them. Right, and I'm a Giants fan, so they're our
And
number
division
one
rival,
rivals.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So I hate them. They hate me. I don't mess with them. They usually don't mess with me. So we good.
Are they a bigger rival than the Cowboys though? The
Hmm.
Eagles are a bigger rival, really?
Because how close the two states are
Right,
and the
right,
two
right.
cities, like it's an hour and a half on the
Okay.
train. So Dallas, I never even been to Dallas. I don't care about it. Like they're a rival, like obviously, but not like the Eagles and Washington. At least not for me.
Right.
Well, I hate the freaking Cowboys, man, because Cowboys fans they're like all over the place.
Hmm.
That
They have the biggest fan base. Yeah.
yeah, no matter where you go. Like
Yeah.
it just came out actually that they're now worth more than the Knicks as far
Hmm.
as like on franchise.
Really?
So yeah,
Hmm.
Wow.
yeah,
Yep. They're
this
like the only, off, not off market, but they're not in a big market when it comes to like New York and LA and stuff like that. But the value of the team, they just have so many fans that they will always be like top five in terms of value.
Yeah. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, you see Dallas fans, Dallas Cowboys fans everywhere.
Hmm. Everywhere.
That and Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I get it because
Yeah,
they were on
Pittsburgh too.
TV all the time when we were kids, and you know, I guess it makes sense that people would follow them if they're on TV all the time.
Right. I even know Green Bay fans around here just because how
Really?
popular they were.
Oh
Like
yeah,
how popular they were back in the day, and then how families
right,
go
right.
down the line. Like I know some people like my age that are big Green Bay fans for no reason.
No shit.
Yeah, they never been there. don't know anything about Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
Like, but they
Cheese.
grew up as cheeseheads. Like that's
yeah.
just family tradition.
Yeah, I just never understood that. Like, I mean, you got to be localized. If you're in New York area, you got to be a New York fan. Something like people like me. I mean, like this one guy that I know. He's a Lakers fan. But he's a Lakers fan because his
Hmm.
dad was a Lakers fan, and
Hmm.
he has
I
this
know
big
some
long
people like that
dramatic
too.
story about the shit.
Yep.
To keep it football too. I know Indian dude. They came from India. Running away from oppression or whatever the fuck, and then he gets here. He couldn't speak no English, and he saw these two black guys on a football team called the Redskins. He thought the Redskins was him. He thought they were like Indian people and shit. Yeah, it was all some real crazy, coming to America shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get
That's
it. He
crazy.
came here. He saw Doug Williams and all these guys. He said never seen nothing
Uh,
like that before. He thought they were real Indian men.
He
that's
In the
thought
funny.
Doug Williams was the Redskin.
Yeah, you
He
know
thought he
what's
was the
weird
chief.
is when they changed the name. Imagine him protesting to keep the name the Redskins.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, that's crazy.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's one of those guys that might actually do that though.
Uh,
Really?
Those kind of guys. I don't know. But anyway, I lost what I was sharing because it all of a sudden started asking me to pay. Just I don't know if you saw it on the screen. It says, "Oh, pay for $8.99, whatever a month, whatever."
You was having a list of everybody's picks, huh?
Yeah, I was going
Okay.
to as you guys were talking, I'm going to start clicking away, but I guess I clicked the wrong thing. But anyway, man, we were talking about the Jets and stuff in the beginning. So right off the bat, what do you think about this thing, Leo?
this is great, man. They filled the needs, right? They had needs. They went in. They knew what they. Everybody knew that there were a whole bunch of holes to fill, and not only did they fill the holes, but they got good value, right? And they got one of the best players in the draft in Sauce Gardner. They got a top three wideout in Garrett Wilson, and then we haven't had an edge rusher in forever. And then they jump back in and draft Jermaine Johnson, which was weird because he was supposed to be the 10th pick. All right, so it started because uh, I don't know who it was. Maybe the Texans selected. Yeah, the Texans
Stingley.
selected
Yep.
Stingley,
Yep.
um, and which allowed KT to fall, right? And I thought they were going to
Hmm.
take Kayvon Thibodeau, but we wound up getting Sauce, who's an amazing player. Shut down corners don't come around every day. And then to come back in the second round and get Brees Hall, who's the best running back in the draft. And Bills fans were losing their shit because they thought that he was going to be selected in the first round.
Yep.
So they got good value out of him. And recently, like in the past 5-10 years, people are poo-pooing drafting a running back in the first round. Like you can find great running backs in the later rounds, maybe fourth, fifth, sixth rounds. And I guess teams were thinking, that he would last till then. But the Jets came in and scooped up Brees Hall, who's going to be running back one to start the season. And then they selected hometown hero Jeremy Ruckert, who's from Long Island, and he grew up a Jets fan, so that was pretty dope. And he went to OSU, had good production there. It wasn't like a mean pass catcher, but if you look at the tape, he's a good run blocker, good pass protection, gets open, knows how to run routes, etc. And then the coolest pick, though, was pick 111 when they selected Max Mitchell, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but they allowed the scout to call him and let him know that they were drafting him.
Saw
So
that.
that was like the dopest shit, right? These scouts, they follow these guys all around and they scout these positions, and then you're able to call the guy and make his dream come true. And the dude, the scout was like, I've never done this before, but that was pretty dope, man. So the Jets, I think, had a great draft. But there was a lot of good players in this draft, man, and a lot of teams had good drafts. But being a Jets fan, this is exciting, man, because to get lucky to have 3 top 10 picks in the first round
Pack
is
your
is
bags
pretty
and
amazing.
cash back. Earn 5% on travel purchased through Chase. With Chase Freedom Unlimited.
You guys heard?
Yeah, that's Eru telling me my time's up. he sent me the commercial break.
My bad. On the side here, I'm trying to do all this stuff here to try to get these picks up here.
Speaking of which,
All these NFL sites are like real stingy with like giving information and stuff, man. It's just bugged out.
speaking of which, Lee, what you just said, that actually happened during the draft.
Yeah.
Some actor, I forgot his name. He was an older dude, but he a Minnesota Vikings fan. He was up there. You know how they have like people going up there doing the picks.
Right.
So he up there like telling like life stories, bro.
Really?
And so, all you see is some girl come up like with a clipboard and telling him that, yeah, say what's on the card so you can go. And they showed all of that. And then she walked off, and then he was like, oh yeah, by Minnesota Vikings 100 and something pick such and such. Like he was up there for like 5 minutes talking when he was only supposed to be up there for like 30 seconds.
Bro was out there preaching. That's funny. Man.
Right. Hilarious.
It's last day on the job and shit.
I actually gave the Jets an A+ on this draft, yo. For one, they didn't have any late picks, so all of these are early picks. Like it might say like 117, but they all like the top 4 rounds of the draft. Like they didn't have anything after that. So
yeah, they
all
traded.
Of these, they traded all of them.
To trade up, yeah.
Yep, they traded up. So when it comes to this draft, you might be looking at like 6 starters in like 2 or 3 years, especially even with Max Mitchell. Like he's projected he might be your starting right tackle in the future. It all depends on what Becton does, but because I don't think they're going to start him at left anymore because he probably
because George Fant had such a great year last year, and it would be tough to move him. But Becton is when he plays right, he's really really good. So I think he can win a spot back, and then Fant can move to right tackle. But yeah, I mean, even last year the Jets had a really really good draft. They had Zach Wilson, who started, Michael Carter, who came on late, who was a starter, Elijah Moore. So they're putting pieces around Zach, and they're drafting really really well, man. So it's good to see. It's not something that I've been used to in my lifetime, so I'm happy to see it, man.
You know what surprised me about the Jets draft is that I don't like cornerbacks. I said that in the last draft. So they actually drafted a cornerback first, and I was dying laughing because I know that you were a big Jets fan. We were talking about it, so I was trying to get in contact with you, but then I found out you was at the draft, or whatever, because I was gonna kind of attack you a little bit. But they still was able to get like a high rated wide receiver and the best running back in the draft. The tight end, I think, is like the best tight end in the draft as well, right?
Top 5 definitely. He wasn't rated like top, but like top 3, 4, something like that. Jeremy Ruckert is good.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, in the mock draft, I had the Giants drafting him because we needed a tight end. We drafted somebody else because they picked Jeremy Ruckert before we picked.
That's right. Yeah.
Did that shit on purpose. They knew. I knew he was going to come to at least one of us because he's from here. He already, he already said that he wanted to come back home or whatever. I knew he was going to go either to us or you guys. So it's good.
Yeah, and I would imagine that scouting Garrett Wilson, they found out, and I think they had mentioned too that during the Senior Bowl, which, by the way, was an amazing experience for Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, the coach and the GM, because they were saying how they were scouting these guys during the season, but then they got a chance to see them up close and personal, which is not very many, unless you're coaching in that game in the Senior Bowl. You don't get to see these guys until their pro days or stuff like that, or their tryouts or their interviews and whatever. So the Jets got a close look at him, and also too, they were already scouting him, when they were watching Garrett Wilson, I would imagine. So yeah, it was a good turnout, man.
I actually want the Giants to, like, you're absolutely right when it comes to the Senior Bowl, especially with your coaching staff was, formed last year, so they got a year under their belt, and then they coached the Senior Bowl. So I wish the Giants would do the same thing. Like, we could have our coaching staff this year. Next year we go to the Senior Bowl and coach, so we can get like the ins and outs on a lot of the prospects.
Yeah, no, that makes, and I would imagine that, after seeing how good the Jets draft was and them saying how good it was to be at the Senior Bowl, I would imagine that all teams, this is a copycat league, so I would imagine that all teams are going to be trying to do that next year, or in some form or fashion, they're going to try to coach the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, I think at least all of the, I don't want to say young, but all the newer formed coaching staff should definitely do it, especially like first time head coaches.
Yeah,
Like Robert Saleh is obviously a good coach, but it's his first time being a head coach.
right.
We have Brian Dable, so that's his first time being a head coach. I hope he gets a year under his belt, and we have a chance to do that next year. We'll see.
Do you know how they picked? I don't even know how they picked that, or
No,
that
I
would be
don't know how they
interesting.
pick. I don't know if it's random. I don't know if a team can actually request it or what.
Or
I
bid on
really
it.
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that was good though.
So I mean, as far as the Jets draft and stuff, let's back up here. This was the need according to them, according to the NFL. It said defensive line, wide receiver, and cornerbacks. They basically covered that, right? They didn't
Yeah.
really address the line per se, but they took care of business when it came to like the linebacker and things of that nature.
Well, they got really the need was edge because they had John Franklin Myers last year, and just a whole bunch of other guys. After Carl Lawson got hurt,
Right.
the name of the game is putting pressure on the quarterback. So now you have Carl Lawson coming back from injury, and then you got a top edge rusher in the draft. So yeah, they hit it out the park with this. Like jumping back into the first round was so unexpected. Shout
Yeah.
out to Tennessee for giving us that pick, man. That was awesome. I had no idea. I was actually in the car driving back from the show, and I had it on the radio, and I lost it when I was on the G Dub doing 50 because I'm a safe driver, and I had, that's old man shit. Doing 50 on a G Dub, listening to sports talk radio. That's some old man shit right
Word.
there. So I lost my mind when they said they got Jermaine Johnson because literally that was a need, and they
Right.
filled all their needs in the first round.
So I mean, I'm trying to pull it up now. The first edge rusher I think was Aiden. What was his name? Aiden somebody.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Well, no, the first edge
Oh, Trayvon Walker.
technically was Trayvon Walker, pick
Yeah.
number 1.
Okay.
He's an edge also.
What did you think of that pick?
Well, I thought it was weird. I wouldn't have done that. Like Trayvon Walker, like
Yeah.
I said that in our last show when we did the mock.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way in hell I'm drafting him because
Yeah.
when the process first started, he was like projected to be a second round pick.
Right.
He went from being a second round all the way to 1 just because he tested well. He doesn't have half the production that Thibodeau has.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I guess maybe because of Thibodeau's attitude, he completely leapfrogged him like a whole round. That's weird. Like even leapfrogging Aiden Hutchinson, like
Yeah.
that's weird.
That's great. I thought it was a reach, just like I thought the Stingley pick was a reach. But yeah, it was when they drafted him. I laughed because I remember you saying that,
Yep.
and we were talking about it too. We were like, one of these teams are going to do like either Detroit or the Jags are going to do something completely unexpected. And shout out to him though. He went to Georgia. They're no slouch. They win the championship game and all that. They had a great defense. 3 guys went in the top 50 picks or whatever it was. So they're legit, right? But to draft him first, I was like, and then you got Aiden Hutchinson, who was consensus number 1 from the beginning of the year. Everybody
Yep.
knew that he was the best, defensive player, and Detroit was like, well, we'll take him.
At 2. Yeah.
At 2, that was
weird,
great.
man. But I even thought the Stingley pick was even weirder. But salute to them. I got who I got, and I liked who I got.
Yeah, that was so weird. And I mean, they could have just traded back and gotten, because they need a quarterback, right? Houston could have traded back, or they could have taken. I thought they were going to go Ike Ekwonu, or Evan Neal or something like that, because they need somebody to protect that quarterback, whoever he is right now. But yeah, that was weird. But salute to them, man.
Ebru, you want me to put that picture that I had up of the Giants? I don't know if you can find it before, or do you want it like this, the list?
Yeah, I'll switch it up now.
Hold on.
So one thing about the Giants draft, I wanted them to pick an offensive line, whatever, but they waited. They picked Thibodeau first, and then they had their they had their share of linemen,
Hmm.
Neil and whatever. So and when retrospect too, I think that Neil probably was the best pick out of the two between him and the other kid.
Yeah, well, yeah. For me, it was like he's actually my number one player in the draft. Like before all of this started, like the beautiful thing about the Giants draft, like I talked about like projections and stuff, right? If you actually go by the projections of like before the college football season started, or like when the NFL season was going on and the projections of who was going to be in the next draft, right? Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal was arguably like two
One and
top
two.
three picks.
Yeah.
So we got two top three picks at 5 and 7
Seven.
just
Yeah.
because of the process of the draft. It will always have people fluctuate going up and down when it comes to their projections. So to me, I got an A+ draft for us just because we got those two players. Like I
Right.
didn't even. It's not like I didn't care about the rest because we are in a building stage. Like we drafted what, two offensive linemen. Well, no, three offensive linemen. I'm sorry, two guards and a tackle. And in the off season, we've signed a total of 9 because our line sucked. So they're headed in the right direction to me.
Yeah. Yeah. When you build football teams the right way, it's going to be offensive line, defensive line, and then you build out from there. But when you address both sides of the ball in your first two picks, that's with elite talent. That's a hit out the park, man.
And since we struck out on Jeremy Ruckert, we actually got Daniel Bellinger in the 4th round. I like him because he's the best blocker of the tight ends that was in the draft. He's the best blocking tight end. But athletically, he projects. I'm going to say a name, but I don't expect him to be this player. It's just who he's projected as in terms of athleticism and height, weight, speed, and all that. He's like a clone of Travis Kelsey, athletically. Not saying that he's going to produce like that or anything,
Right,
but
right.
as long as I could get somebody like that in the tight end room, I'm cool. Like even if you draft somebody like Ford, like even if you look at somebody like Travis Kelsey, he wasn't a high draft pick himself. So you find players like this in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Some of these people could actually be starters in like a couple years. That's
Right.
the beauty of the draft, and that's why I love it so much. Because you never know where any of these people or any of these players are going to end up right now.
Right. Right.
Like it's almost impossible to judge a draft as soon as it happened. Like we're just
Yeah.
grading off of projections.
Right.
All of these dudes could become all pros, or all of them could suck and be out of
Right.
the league in 2 years. And you never know. You
Yeah.
just go by your projections of what you believe will happen. Like we got some people in the later stages of the draft. Darren Beavers, he was like our last pick, like in the middle of the 6th round. He was projected to be like a 3rd or 4th round pick, and he slid for some reason.
Yeah.
See, stuff like that I love, and then we'll just have to wait and see how good he is. We have to see.
Yeah.
What causes a guy like that to slide so far? Because even me, I'm not like the biggest football guy. I'm just starting to get back into it now. But I thought a guy like Beavers would, like you said, I thought he really was going to go up high just based off of
Hmm.
what everybody was projecting him. So how do you go from being a 3rd round, which is like a possible starter of it, pretty
Hmm.
soon to somebody that might not even get drafted? How does that even happen?
Because a lot of the projections, I mean, it could be from one person, but every team has their own projections. Like he could be like a consensus 3rd round pick, but if nobody falls in love with him enough for that to happen in the 3rd round, he might just fall. It all depends on who's on the board at the time that you're picking.
Right. Right. And a lot of teams go best player available.
Yep,
And then there's other teams that go specific needs.
yep. It all depends on your philosophy.
Yeah.
So the Giants' philosophy, yeah, at least, I think on both sides, they on defense they were trying to get the biggest, goofiest motherfuckers that you could find in any draft they were getting. That's what it felt like. Was every time you look at the picture, you see it's just like this big clunky,
Oh, you talk
like
about, you talk about on offense.
well,
Like the offensive linemen that we picked, yeah, they real big offensive. Like all of them are huge.
yeah,
Like we gotta, like you could tell they had like a profile of the type of line that we're gonna have. They're gonna be big as hell. And both of them, the two offensive guards that we picked, right? They both actually went to the same school.
yeah, North Carolina, right?
Yep. So they actually picked two guys from the same line. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Marcus McKenneth, whatever his name is. That guy's a
Hmm.
big monster looking.
Huge. He's
Huge.
like 6'5",
Yeah,
like 360. He's going to play right guard.
yeah.
Wow. Where's the reach for the Giants in this draft? You think they
Oh, that's
reached on
easy.
the
That's easy. The only pick that I'm not saying I don't like it because I don't know exactly what our offense is going to be because we have a new coach, but that's Wendell Robinson, the
yeah.
wide receiver in the second round because he's small. He's a smallish gadget player. Like he's like 5'8",
Yeah.
180 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah.
But he played in the SEC, which is the best conference in college football, and he had like over 100 yards. I mean, 100 catches, 1,300 yards, a few touchdowns. Like he actually produces. So he's
Mhm.
not just small, like a small player that don't produce. He was projected to be like a third or fourth rounder, and we picked him in the second.
Yeah.
So, like technically, that was definitely the biggest reach for them in the draft. But I actually think it's a reach for some. But like I said, everybody's philosophy is different. He's going to get the ball. They're
Right.
going to scheme him the ball a certain way. Like if you're going to have 100 catches in college, those were probably like scheme fits too. I'm pretty sure they was all, like I didn't do a whole bunch of film work on them or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure there was a whole bunch of screens, like bubble screens, stuff around the line of scrimmage. Like he's only 5'8", so that's pretty much how he got the ball, and he's going to
You can
move the
hide
ball
them behind. Yeah.
exactly. He's going to do the exact same thing for us on that offense. So that's why
Yeah.
I like the pick, but it was a reach.
Yeah.
Well, he was in Colorado first, right? And then when he was on that team, he was actually a running back. So
Nebraska.
Nebraska, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a running back on Nebraska, and then moved to slot wide receiver. Um, Went to the SEC, changed positions, caught over 100 balls and
Wow.
1,300 yards. So yeah, like he can
He's a
play.
football player. Yeah, he's a
Right,
football player.
he
That's
can
the
play. He was
definition of a
just
football player.
projected. Right, he was just projected to be lower, and we drafted him high. But he definitely can play. So I'm cool with it.
Size, like besides the size, right? He could be potentially like a Debo Samuel type player,
Hmm.
right? Where he could line up in the back, or not even. I'm gonna say Ty. Who's the guy that was with Green Bay, and then he went to the Jets, and then
Ty
he went.
Montgomery.
Yes, Ty Montgomery
Yeah,
comes to
yeah, yeah,
mind.
yeah.
One
I
of those
remember him.
type of ball players. Yeah,
He was all like he went to Stanford, played quarterback, wide receiver, running back. I
yeah,
remember him. He was a full
yeah,
two, 5 tool player himself, like
yeah.
in baseball. Like he does pretty much everything. Wendell
Everything. Yeah,
Robinson is pretty much the same. He'll get the ball in the backfield, a lot of screens. He can actually go downfield too. So I think he's going to be pretty good.
here's the thing though, Jarrell. What is you have Sterling Shepard,
Hmm.
who's small in stature. You have Tony,
Hmm.
who's also, he's not huge, and now you have
Slot.
Wandell. Yeah, who's on the outside? Galladay's on one side. Who else is the other
Um, for n-
outside guy?
for now, I hope they actually move Tony to the outside because I like him inside or out. I think he's good enough to do both. But I actually think they still should probably keep both of them inside because they can go against like number 3, number 4 cornerbacks, like in a spread. On
Right.
the outside, I don't know. We have
Slayton.
Darius Slayton now, but I
Yeah.
think they probably trying to trade him. I'm not a huge fan of Slayton. He
Mm,
drops too many balls. He doesn't run the whole route tree crisp. I'm not a big fan of him. So if we actually get rid of him, I'm cool.
right. Right.
But as long as I got Kenny Galladay on the field, Robinson and Tony, I should be able to get some yards. Like if
Yeah.
you like, this is not our last coaching tree. Like we sucked last year and the year before with Joe Judge and Jason Garrett doing the offense. It was terrible. Like it's not going to be like that at all. Stop smiling, Lee. Stop smiling, yo.
Yo,
Like I hated them, yo.
I
Like,
actually thought Joe Judge was gonna be a good coach because he was a motivator. He came from and it's kind of weird that Bill Belichick has all these guys that come from, his coaching tree, and they're all terrible.
yeah, all of them
Uh,
suck. All of
and
them.
and most of them get second chances. Let's start there.
Of course.
Most of them get second chances because of their complexion is the right one, but
Correct.
they get second chances, but they've been awful. Um, the dude who coached for Detroit, Josh McDaniels' first go around was awful.
Now he
Who
with the
was
Raiders.
Yeah, and who was their first? Who was the dude that went to Detroit? Matt Patricia.
Patricia.
He was awful, and and Joe Judge was terrible. So, but I thought he was going to be. He had these guys playing hard the first year, and they didn't have that much talent, but they were playing hard, and
He just didn't know what he was doing. Though.
yeah,
Like
fair
he could have at least been, or at least should have been a position coach, not a position coach, at least like some type of coordinator before you get that job. I didn't like the fact that he was just the special teams coordinator, and just leapfrog to head coach. Like he was I don't know, like he was a Harbaugh brother or something. Like he didn't get no stain for me for that. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like draft the offensive or defensive coordinator. Don't give me no special teams, dude. No.
Yeah. And I thought
all of them will get you motivated. That's their job. Like he's a special teams coordinator. So yeah, his job is to tell people to run into a brick wall 10 times.
Yeah.
So he can pretty much talk to anybody. That don't mean he could coach though.
Yeah. I thought Jason Garrett got a raw deal too, because there was really no talent there other than Saquon, and guys got hurt, and then the offensive line couldn't hold anybody up. Daniel Jones was always running for his life. So even some of the play calls last year were insane.
Trash.
But
That's what I'm saying. I'll let you finish. That motherfucker was trash. I hated him, man.
my God.
Like he was cool. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't like him personally. It's just that I don't know. We had to get in the 2020s, man. Like our offense looked like the old Cowboys, like from 1988. Like it was trash, man. Like it was no imagination. I understand with the talent and stuff, but you should be able to scheme some type of manufactured touchdowns. Like we was trash. Like I often, you got to think about it. Tony didn't score a touchdown all season. Kenny Galladay didn't score a touchdown all season.
It's crazy.
Like our starting wide receivers, none of them scored a touchdown all season. How does that happen?
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas had more touchdowns than Kenny Galladay. He had one on a trick play. Think about that. Like in the red zone, man. Like our starting left tackle had more touchdowns than any of our wide receivers. So that's crazy. He had to be fired. I wanted to scorch earth. Everybody had to go during this offseason, man.
Yeah. Well, even one of the Jets linemen scored a touchdown. So the Jets offensive line had more touchdowns than the Giants wide receivers.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, think about it. We're 2022 we're talking about. Like, in the year, not the year, but the era of, like, everybody throws the ball like 50 times a game. Right. How have we not have any touchdowns from wide receivers? Make it make sense. Like, you can't be that bad of a coach that your wide receiver can't score all season. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Do you think the Giants are on the right page now? Do you think with the coach and the new offensive scheme, you think things will start to work out?
I do. I actually like Joe Shane. I like the fact that we actually had some smoke screens during this draft. Like, remember I said I actually didn't want Kayvon Thibodeau. Remember? I said I would have drafted Neil at 5 on our mock draft, and I think I got Jermaine Johnson with our 7 because I wanted an edge. I skipped over Thibodeau because they was talking about how bad of an interview he had. Come to find out, he had a great interview and they loved him. I like the fact that, like, throughout this whole process, at least in the last week before the draft, it was reported that Charles Cross was the number 1 tackle on the Giants board. Because of that, they were able to pick Thibodeau at 5 and not get Neil at 5 and actually wait for Neil to fall to 7 because everybody thought we was going to pick Cross.
Right.
So nobody would leapfrog us because Carolina was right in the middle of that. So, yeah, I like the smoke screens. So in terms of that, Joe Shane as a GM, I like what he's done so far. Brian Daboll, it's all about, talking now. I have to see him actually coach a game first before I say that, you know.
But you gotta give it up for the GM who knew what the needs were, right? You could even see him maneuvering like getting rid of big contracts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that they have a plan, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you start, like we said earlier, you start from the line and go out from there. He drafted, one of the top two edges in the game, coming out of college, and then he drafted the best lineman, right, coming out of
Mm-hmm.
college. So they, his job was done. Right now, it's time for Daboll to make sure
Right.
that these guys play to their ability and they're set up for success.
And even though I had Wendell Robinson as being a reach, I mean, it just says it says he was drafted in the second round. But what I didn't talk about is that we actually traded down twice before we picked him in the second round. So two of the players that we got, we weren't even supposed to have. And if they were targeting Robinson, since they did draft him early, that was their target the whole
And
time.
late anyway, right?
Right. So
right. So
they
it
got
wasn't
two
really a
players.
reach.
They got two players for the same person that they was actually going to draft there. So I actually love that too. So I think we're in good hands. But in terms of how we play on the field, yeah, it just remains to be seen.
Yeah, the Jets traded with the Giants. Which pick was that?
Did they?
Yeah, I think the Jets and Giants had a trade in the later rounds,
I
obviously.
forgot. I
But
forgot.
That was right before we made that second trade. We went down to 43, I think.
Was it? I don't remember. I just remember us trading that. I forgot who we traded down with, to be honest. I just remember us trading down twice in that round.
Yeah, I remember because me and you were chatting about it on Twitter.
Yeah,
And
right.
they made that first trade, and then they made the trade right after. So
Yep. I was like, yo, he traded again. Yeah, I was like, I just didn't know, I didn't know who he was going to pick. But the fact that he traded down twice, like our GMs usually don't do that. Like last year was the first time a GM traded down for the New York Giants in like over a decade. Like we don't usually maneuver in the draft like that.
right. Well, that was the pick that got us the Mika McFadden.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
we got
really,
that
really
from,
like
got
him.
him from the Jets.
He gonna mess around and start. He's a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, he might. Mika's good. I mean, I'm just looking like this is a style of player that the Giants went for. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying. A lot of I really like that Beavers thing. Beavers and McFadden. It's a lot of competition. I'm going to talk about during training camp and stuff like that.
Right, right. And Thibodeau, you got to add him to that. So they're all pretty much linebackers. Remember, we run a 3-4 right now. So Thibodeau is, he's an edge, but he plays outside linebacker.
Right.
So all of them are going to be going up against each other. Because McFadden, he might be an inside linebacker, but his bread and butter is blitzing as well.
Yeah, so the Jets traded 38 picks, number 38 and 141.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, 38 and 146 to the Giants for pick 36, which the Jets
Brees
used
Hall.
to select Brees Hall.
Right, right.
So I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't have no quarrels with that. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I knew we wasn't going to draft like a running back that high. I didn't think we was going to draft a running back at all, to be honest. But yeah, that was good. I think it was a good trade for both. Like
Yeah.
we got 2 extra players, and you guys got your starting running back.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because Michael Carter came in and did a wonderful job for us last year. And we thought, yeah, this is the guy, with more reps if he stays on the field. Because always the best ability is availability. But if he stays on the field, he's productive. He fights for the extra yards. He can run inside the tackles. He can run outside. He's an all-around back. He can catch passes out of the backfield. So I thought he was going to be it. And then turn around and you draft a guy in the second round, and you're like, wow, now they're stacked. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that was really, really good, man. Sucks to be him, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like to be honest, I actually think both teams did well. Like I'm almost mad that one. Well, I'm not mad that I'm almost mad y'all did so well. Obviously, just so I can't talk shit. But yeah, I actually think both teams went well. Like I can honestly say both got like A's to me.
Yeah. Bills fans were having a meltdown. I don't know if I was talking about this earlier, but Bills fans were having a meltdown because they wanted Brees Hall.
Yeah,
And,
a lot of people projected Brees Hall to them.
Yeah.
And remember, I projected that corner because they needed a cornerback.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I don't know why like everybody I think the only reason they prioritize Hall in the first is because they don't think they need anything else because they almost went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's not how it works. You pick for value. You don't just always pick just because you need a starting running back.
Right.
Like you get a starting running back in the 5th round, depending on who you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see I saw it all over. I started seeing it on Twitter today. Khair Elam, the pick that went to the Bills, the interview process, bro came prepared. He had a breakdown of in his notes in his playbooks of all the plays that he might have messed up on. You know, his grading of the players that he was going against. You know, where they think they did well and where he could improve. The interview was in front of the Bills, and there was like 50 guys in the interview room from on the Bills side, and what a great video for a young dude at 20 years old to go in there and be prepared. And then you see him get the call, and he's like, "Send me the playbook on the plane."
Yeah,
Like,
dope.
bro is ready to go.
Yeah.
That is great to see, man.
I like that.
So are you satisfied with your drafts, guys? You know, because I mean, like, it's two different like tills. I feel like the Jets really needed to bolster the offense more. You know, to just like kind of like to plaster it up a little bit. But the Giants, they kind of needed to pump the cement at the bottom and build the foundation because we kind of were top heavy and didn't really have a lot of foundation going on. So, are you guys happy with what's going on with these teams?
I'm ecstatic because I can tell that they building a foundation just to see if Daniel Jones is good. Like you can tell, you don't sign like almost 10 offensive linemen in the offseason. You know, that's crazy. Like that's excessive. So I just because they're doing that, I know that they want him to succeed. And they didn't exercise his 5th-year option for a reason. Like it's like show me what you got. I got all these linemen for you. I got a couple weapons for you. If you can't succeed, or at least show me that you can at least manufacture some type of wins this season, we'll have everything in place, and we'll just have to replace him.
Get at least one wide receiver a touchdown this year.
Yeah, at least one. You got to do something, bro. Like, come on. Like, what we talking about? Like,
they should come out the gate throwing the ball, and on the second play of the game, just air it out to Tony.
I know they can get touchdowns because I get them in freaking Madden.
Right. So if you can manufacture some touchdowns in Madden, I hope Brian Daboll, like we have the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs and the quarterback coach from Kansas City to be our new offensive coordinator. If we can't manufacture points now, it's going to be a long season.
They also set it up too because you got Tyrod Taylor's right behind him. And then next year's supposed to be the quarterback draft, and they didn't give this option, like you said.
Exactly.
So the writing's on the wall. So either you're going to show up this year or you're going to be gone.
We already know wherever Tyrod Taylor is going to go, a young quarterback is going to replace him.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. He's not the only one like that, but, quarterbacks at that level, they're there to be like the bridge quarterback. It's exactly what he's there for.
Right. Like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to come in and produce if he needs to, but he's not there to start.
One of them Hoyer brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of them.
Yeah. Who's the other dude that played for like all 30 teams? He actually played for the Jets. He might have been up for the coach of the Giants.
One of them Hoyers. One of the Hoyers. I think is it
no, it was
he wasn't a Hoyer?
No, he was he played for the Jets last, but he was interviewing for the Giants. He might have interviewed for the Giants job.
Oh, he interviewed for the Giants job.
Well, Giants and maybe
I know one of y'all quarterbacks interviewed for the Texans job, I think.
Texans job, yes.
I thought it was him, but I could be wrong. But I thought it was Brian Hoyer. It's not Brian Hoyer?
No. Yeah, let me look this shit up.
Or what's his brother's name? Or one of them other dudes. I forgot. But yeah, I think I know exactly who you're talking about. McCown.
Josh McCown, yeah.
That's his name. I'm thinking about them. It's Hoyer brothers in the NFL. They was quarterbacks, and the McCown brothers also.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting my white people mixed up, man. I'm sorry.
They all look alike, bro. They
I
all
know,
fucking
right?
look alike.
I just caught a brain fart. Like I'm mixing up Hoyers and McCowns, man. I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. Yeah, the Jets draft was great, man. It was a continuation of the great draft that they had last year. Um, they're getting weapons for our young quarterback, man, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. So we have to see some improvement. We only won 4 games last year. I expected them to win a whole lot more games last year, but now coming in, you have the assets, you have the pedigree. It's just time to perform, man. Get out there and show everybody what you got. And I think football is about momentum too, right? You start to win games, you start to get the confidence, you get a play here or there, and now you're feeling invincible. Normally if somebody gets hurt, you lose that momentum, or you're kind of like down. CJ Mosley went down in his first year, and they lost that Buffalo game, and it was kind of like downhill from there. I think you put a couple wins together, you get that confidence. The coaches, start scheming up some stuff for your young guys, and guys are ready to play, and I think it's going to be great, man. I'm excited, bro. The timeline is not going to hit the end of it when the Jets start winning, bro. I'm going to be ridiculous. I'm going to be
You deserve it, though.
OD, bro. Yeah, I'm going to be OD, bro. It's been 40 years, bro.
Hold on. I don't want to hear those Jets deserve it. What are you talking about? You act like the Giants don't deserve it. We've been sucking
Bro.
for a long time too.
Bro, y'all have won more times since I've been alive.
Yeah,
Y'all have won
that's
more
true.
Super Bowls than the Jets won games last year, bro.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking about like the last 5 years. We're like tied for the 2 teams with the worst record in the NFL. You know that? The Jets and the Giants in the last 5 years have tied for the worst record in the NFL.
Bro, the
Nuts.
Jets could win a Super Bowl and they don't have to win ever again. They could go and forever.
Yeah,
and I will be like, yeah,
I get it.
Crazy.
Hey, we all Knicks fans, so yeah, we get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all get it. It doesn't matter what type of fan you are for any other sport. If we're all Knicks fans.
Yeah.
We know exactly what you're talking about. The Knicks win a championship, you could cancel Christmas.
over.
I might not watch basketball
Christmas
anymore.
is canceled.
I might be done. New Year's is
Easter is
canceled.
over.
Birthdays is canceled. Ain't nobody
July's
getting
done.
nothing for nothing. Like, I'm not getting no gifts. Everybody give me a gift. We won the chip. Are you crazy?
Exactly. We taking that if the Knicks win when the Knicks win the championship, we taking down Twitter for sure.
Yeah, we taking down Twitter. We might take down a building.
Shit is
Twitter.
gonna-
We might
shit's
take
gonna
down
burn.
a railroad. Are you crazy? If the Knicks win the championship, MSG is in trouble.
Yo, it's
Not
gonna
just
be
MSG, the whole
bananas.
city. It's gonna be
Whole city's
occupied.
in trouble, man.
Yeah, the fan base is gonna occupy New York City.
Quick.
Yeah, all across the world and stuff.
But yeah,
Well,
if the Jets win, I'm gonna be relentless, man. I'm gonna be so.
Well, so where do you think your Jets fit within this region here, the AFC East and stuff? What do you think they fit now? From being the worst.
The Patriots are gonna do what the Patriots do, but they got a F in the draft. I don't know if they've ever drafted well. They just
say they get a D or F every year.
Yeah, and then they have these guys who are fifth round picks who become stars at their position because they're just football. They find football players. Like they'll have a wide receiver playing, safety, and he'll be the best safety. You know what I'm saying? It's insane.
Word.
I don't know what this dude makes them drink, but they all drink the Kool-Aid for this dude.
Bill Belichick is the best coach ever.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins, they got better, but I've never liked Tua. And I don't think he can, even with the weapons like Tyreek Hill and stuff like that, I don't think he's good enough. Even though they won like 7 straight games last year, whatever it was, after losing 7 straight, and that's difficult to do. They have a good team, but so the Bills, can they keep going on that trajectory? They lost their offensive coordinator. They've lost some other pieces. They've lost some linemen. You never know what could happen, but I think the Jets are in position to be top two, at least in the East. And we even saw with the Bengals last year, the Bengals were ass for a long time, and then they start winning some games and all of a sudden they're AFC East, they're AFC champs, right? And they're going to the Super Bowl. So I think the Jets can win at least 9 games next year and make it to the playoffs.
It's tough, man. I feel like you guys got one of the hardest divisions. You got the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots in the same
We
freaking.
gotta play them twice. Yeah.
Go to the AFC West. That division is not hard compared to. Look at the AFC West.
Yeah.
That division is nuts.
Justin Herbert is an incredible quarterback, bro.
And the Broncos got Russell Wilson right now.
He's incredible. I think he's gonna fall off. By the way,
Word?
I think Russ is gonna fall off. Yeah.
Like how soon though? Like how? What's the window for them? You think? You don't think he fall off next year, right?
I mean, who do they have at running back? I mean, they got
Williams.
their wide receiver. They got a good. Oh yeah, the kid from North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. They got tools
he's
over
really
there.
good.
So
He's
yeah,
really
like
good.
think about that division.
Oh, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
they got Jerry Jeudy.
Cortland Sutton still over there.
Yeah. So they got a good offense defensively. They were kind of middle of the pack last year,
that's
so
the
I'm
key.
not even sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think he takes a step back.
Yeah, that's a tough division there.
A lot older. He got mad babies. Future just put out an album. He's got a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Future album, all right too.
Yeah. I wonder if he tells them, yo, don't play any of Future songs during the team warm-ups or
would be
practices or
crazy.
anything like that.
Well, from what people say, Future's album is trash, man. So,
I think it
I
depends
haven't
on who
heard
you
it yet,
ask.
but yeah. Somebody just there was an article written up that he's the best rapper alive right now, which is weird. I didn't even know he was a rapper. Yeah.
Well, no, but you have to read the article. I actually talk about stuff like that usually. Yeah, it was Elliot Wilson was the person who wrote that article. He's with Title or whatever. He did that for shock value. Even if you read the article, he says it. Like he knows he's not the best rapper of all time. He just talk about like influence and stuff like that. But anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, people who drink lean certainly believe it. So
Right.
anything is anything is believable, man.
Exactly.
yeah,
But I'll listen to it. And I'll hit you back, Ebro, and let you know what I think.
it looked like he sell incense and shit. Like he sell black soap on freaking Trayvon.
He'd be on the 125th.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Oh man.
So what's up with the Giants? The Giants they kind of got competition too. Always with the Cowboys, Eagles, and the what do they call them themselves now? The Warriors, the
Commodores
Washington.
or some shit. Like I don't know. Like they
Commanders,
trash. I
yeah.
hate them too.
Yeah,
Washington Commanders.
Commanders. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's all about even with the Jets. Like you didn't bring up Zach Wilson that much. I think Zach Wilson and Daniel Jones. I mean, the two quarterbacks in New York. I think as far as they go, that's how far the teams will go. Like no way the Giants are going anywhere if Daniel Jones isn't good. He has to be good, not just average.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been terrible. Just like he's just been average. Like that's why they don't know, whether he's a quarterback of the future or not.
Yeah.
So
He could be electric sometimes though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. He shows
like,
flashes.
Oh, shit. The fuck,
Exactly.
times.
He shows flashes. A lot of that has to do with the coaching though, too. So, and he has to stay healthy. He got the turnover problem
Turnovers
under
are the
control.
issue.
But
Turnovers
he actually
have
got
always
them
been
under
the issue.
control. While he was, when he was healthy last year, he actually got them under control. So I don't want to say they're like gone, but for what I've seen so far, he doesn't turn the ball over as much. He just has to stay healthy. He has not spent you got to hope to get like at least a good 6 weeks out of him before he gets put down again, just because he runs the ball so much, or he gets hit so much because our
He's
line
running
sucks.
so much.
Right,
Yeah,
like, all
he's
he
running
does is-
for his life, bro.
Exactly.
Yep.
And he's trying to make a play. That's the thing too, is that he's not just making bonehead mistakes. He's some of the red zone interceptions were unbelievable, but he's trying to make a play. So
Right.
you gotta at least give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're right. As the quarterbacks go, so the teams go.
Yep. Like the Jets aren't going to win a lot of games if Zach Wilson is just flinging that shit all the way down the field without looking. Like he has to get better and stuff, just like Daniel Jones has to get better and stuff. And they're young, so Zach Wilson has a little more leeway because this is only his second year.
Second
This is
year, yeah.
Daniel Jones' fourth.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has to put up a shut up time. Like you're not going to have a job next year if you're not excellent at what you do. Like I didn't even bring up Saquon Barkley this whole show. He has Saquon Barkley now after a year, after his major ACL, you know, injury. It usually takes a year. So now, if Saquon is back to at least 90% of what he used to be in his rookie year before he got hurt, you have no excuses anymore. You have to be good at what you do. Or if not, you're just going to be replaced. This is the NFL. Like, you can't just be an average quarterback and win games. Not in this era anymore. Ain't no more Terry Bradshaws.
Yeah.
You can't just be carried by defense and running the ball anymore. Like, it doesn't work anymore. It's a passing league. You have to be good.
Well, how good is the like say like the backup quarterback? So I know, let's say Danny Dimes, he's the guy, and Tyrod is sitting back there. So I mean, can a guy like Tyrod handle the stuff that he can't handle? Say like behind the scenes type of thing, like
Yeah.
getting everybody like behind him.
Yeah, I believe so. I think just because just how Tyrod Taylor, that's been his primary job for like the past 5 years in the league. Like he's been a bridge quarterback everywhere he's gone in the past 5 years. So yeah, I think if Daniel Jones get hurt, we obviously will have to draft another quarterback or get another quarterback somehow because he won't be the answer. Like if he gets hurt, he's not going to be the answer. If he plays below average or even average, he's not going to be the answer. And I don't care who's like the second string or the third string. Nobody that they'll bring in is going to be the quarterback of the future until they actually go out there and find one on their own.
Yeah, I
Like
think
Daniel
even
Jones
with
he's in a tough spot. Like he has to put up a shut up or it's over for him.
yeah. I mean, you know what's weird? He's in a Julius Randle situation where this is a contract year for him.
Right, true.
So he could go out there and ball
Mm-hmm.
and then, come up Julius Randle after the contract next year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And then
Like get
give
his
everybody the
contract.
finger.
Yeah. Give everybody the thumbs down and
Right.
everybody.
Good.
but yeah, he with Tyrod Taylor too, you're only as good as your offensive line. Right? It doesn't matter what quarterback you bring in. Like
Yep.
They could bring in Tom Brady and he's going to be average because if he can't stand in the pocket, have all day to throw, and guys are not running open routes, then no quarterback is going to succeed. So
Right.
it looks like they're trying to put the talent around him to help him out, and that's all you can ask for from the GM.
Exactly.
And
That's what
and if he doesn't play well, then he's had a shot.
that's why I'm not saying that he's not the answer. We just don't know because we didn't do him any favors in terms of that offensive line. He's been running for his life the whole time he's been in the league.
Yeah,
So I can't even say that he's not the answer. Like we just have to wait and see. Like unfortunately, we have to play him, like you said, in a contract year, not knowing if he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Like that doesn't usually happen. By year 4, you're supposed to know.
right.
You're either going to give him an extension or you're going to cut bait and get somebody else. We're in like no man's land that like our regime was so terrible and we did him such a disservice. Like we actually have to give him a chance to get back.
Yeah,
Like teams don't usually do that. They don't care about players' feelings and stuff like that. But we treated him so bad and gave him so little weapons or didn't protect him that we have to give him another chance just for us to see if he's the quarterback of the future again.
yeah. He's looking more like Mike Glennon though every time he's out there. But the same thing happened. The same thing happened with Sam Darnold too, right? Like there was a terrible O line. There were no weapons for him, and luckily we were able to trade him for a couple picks. But yeah, you have to surround these guys with good ball players to really see where they're at, and and you can't. It's hard to judge him without that. Yeah, you could say he sucks, but think about what he's working with too.
Right.
It's context.
No quarterback is good with a bad offensive line.
Certainly.
Every
Certainly.
single Hall of Fame quarterback had a good line to go with him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because you watch You watch Tom Brady games, and bruh has all day to throw.
Right. And he don't move at all.
He don't move at all.
Right
He
there.
has all day to throw. He's sitting back there in the pocket, and if you're not getting any pressure on him, he's going to pick you apart 5 and 10 yards at a time. He's not out there
Hmm.
slinging it. He's throwing 5 and 10 yard passes, and guys are wide open because it's hard to cover receivers. Even if you're in the zone, it's hard to cover receivers when you have 5 seconds to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
every quarterback wishes that they had that.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I think we did pretty good, man, with the stuff, man. You guys get really deep with the history of certain guys. You start running down these random white people names and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to hear you guys talk with that football stuff, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So I
this is
mean,
great, man.
yeah. So I appreciate you guys coming through. This is an off-topic podcast. We got to figure out what we're doing with this thing, man.
Yeah, we need to do something. We'll see.
Yeah. But it's like a teaser to see what how people receive it and stuff. I'm getting some feedback from it. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck is this shit you guys are doing?" And they're
Word?
like, they're actually, they sit and watch it. They actually, okay, yeah, actually okay. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But
Good,
Cool.
man. Shout
Well,
out
like
to everybody who
I'm
watched and
actually
chimed in, man.
I'm actually shocked that most basketball fans aren't football fans as well. I guess maybe because I've always been equal parties with a lot of stuff when it comes to like baseball, basketball, and football. And I used to watch hockey a lot when I was little too. So it seemed like to me, if you're a basketball fan, most people I know like both
Football
sports.
fans too, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. But to each his own.
but as a football fan, you can't hide. Basketball fans, you can hide behind narratives. You can hide behind. Just look how disgusting Twitter is as far as the Knicks and the NBA stuff like that. The way the guys go
Right,
at each other. But
exactly.
if you look at football, you can't really hide behind those narratives. There's a lot more things going on in football.
One thing I noticed that I think when it comes to like the hot takes and how people treat each other on Twitter, right? I think football is too complicated to do that.
Right.
Right.
It's too many things
Too
to
many
talk about
variables.
for you to tell me I'm stupid about something.
Right.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's way too much stuff. It's way too many ins and outs, plays, how you play. It's the ultimate team sport. So
Right.
you can't have like a hot take that doesn't make any sense in football unless you just flat out say somebody isn't good at something that they clearly are. Like
Right.
you can't really be outlandish. With basketball, you can pretty much say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
It's
people
hard to say a wide receiver is trash if he's not getting the ball.
Exactly.
If
But
he's dropping the ball, then yeah, he
exactly.
has drops. But
He has drops. His hands stink. But you
right.
can sit there and like defend Tibbs for some of the
Yeah.
stuff that he's done and think that he's a good coach going forward and stuff. Like it's a lot of going back and forth when it comes to basketball. Football, you either know something or you don't. Like you either get it or you don't. And if you want to talk about it, you can, but you just got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Well, like as far as like plays and stuff, people always say, "Yo, the Knicks don't run no pick and roll. They don't run no pick and roll." That's like the only play that anybody ever knows by name. Oh, the pick and roll. They don't run no pick and roll.
Pick and
Oh,
roll,
they
pick and
do
roll,
kind
pick
of
and
run
roll.
some kind of triangle. They do
They're
run
not
some,
running a triangle. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
For the
That's what
most,
they talk
yeah.
about. But like
For
in
the most
football,
part, people that watch back, they don't know what type of
Yeah.
offense that they're
nah,
running.
they don't know how to counter things. They don't know anything like when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Football is different. You got like certain type of receivers. You got slot receivers. You got you know
Hmm.
yeah, everything. It's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
different
It's
things going on.
really, really, really a real difficult sport, man.
You have to be more nerd like for football to me.
Yeah.
Like it's just so many things that go into it. It's really, really, really complicated. Every position on the field is a different letter that you probably don't even know about. Like Eru, do you know about X and Y and Z receivers
Yeah,
and
when
what
we
they
have
do, the ins and outs?
the Xbox kind of controller, right?
See,
Right?
that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
don't know
all,
if the PlayStation
like
got
with a lot of people don't realize like when you watch an offense on the field, all of the wide receivers, none of those are the same position, and all of them are in that position for a reason.
right.
Like one X receiver cannot be a Y receiver or a Z receiver. Like you just have to. It depends
They
on who's
all
in that
run
role.
specific routes too. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's yeah, and it also depending on the defense too, how that you're in cover two,
Exactly.
you're in man, and
Right.
there's so many fucking variables. Dude.
Exactly.
And
That's what I'm
shout out
saying.
to
It's
the dudes
way more complicated than
who
basketball.
actually study that shit and know that shit. That shit is incredible, dude. You had to have played to kind of either you're geeked out, like Jarrell was saying, or you had to have played to have the knowledge of where guys go, because not especially on the offensive line, those are some of the smartest dudes on the team, right? Because not only do you have to know your job, but you have to know the job of the guys next to you, right? And you kind of a lot of guys know the job of the guys next to them, but the really really good guys can play any position on the line.
Yep.
And these guys know, based on a look that they're getting from the defense. Like, this shit is incredible, dude. Football is really really incredible, and it's only played 16 times out the year. That's what makes football so
Right.
great, because you only have 17 now, 17 games, and it's once a week, man.
People will be amazed at the responsibility the center has in football. They just think they snap the ball and that's it.
Yeah.
Nah, the center actually is the one who does the cover protections on the line. Like, they do everything. They do a lot of stuff that people do not realize. They're by far the smartest, like the smartest group of people
Yeah.
on the team. Like Lee said.
And you have to change on the fly.
Yep.
All right. Based on protection and what the defense is showing you,
Or your
and then you
quarterback will
have
get
guys,
killed.
yeah, and then you have guys who are like, who are like Bill Belichick, who will show you something on defense and then run a completely like things that you're not that you've prepared for, looks that you've prepared for all week, and then they'll throw a wrinkle at you, and you got to be prepared for even that. All right. And that's why it's amazing when you see a lineman get a free rush at the quarterback or the running back because
Crazy.
somebody fucked up.
Right, exactly. And they could get that person killed, like in basketball, right? You know how you set picks in basketball? And we always talk about, to bring it back to the Knicks, we always talk about how, like, Mitch doesn't set good screens. He always slipped the screen too early, just big ass screen, just go like
you don't
this,
even
just
touch
move
the guy.
Or don't even touch the guy, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens to Saquon Barkley if he whiffs on a block on third down? Daniel Jones is being in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do that. Like, there's certain consequences and repercussions that on a football field that if you don't do your job, you can get somebody really, really hurt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna defend Mitch a little bit because Taj sets good screens, but the Knicks get a lot of unfair offensive foul calls on screens. And
So that's why
I've
you don't touch
seen-
him at all.
Yeah,
He said, "Fuck."
so I'm going to defend him on that. We told him to clean up the fouls, right? We said, "Yo, you got to stop fouling so
That is
much."
true.
He cleaned it up.
That's
we
one
can't-
thing
we
Mitch
can't
has
fully blame
definitely done, is clean up the fouls. He just
Yeah.
has to clean up other stuff.
So he like sew up some pockets in his shorts. He got his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, just give me 10 rebounds a game at least once. Just once.
Yeah,
He's
wow.
stuck in the 7 to 8 range every year. It's kind of crazy. Like, you
But
don't
it's
do
not
nothing
like
else.
he's getting out. It's not like he's getting out rebounded by anybody else, right? Because Jules is 2010,
Yeah.
so that means that Mitch is not getting beat on the boards. He's just not getting to the ball after he boxes his man out. But you don't ever see him getting, and he gets a lot of offensive rebounds, but you don't ever see him getting beat on the boards. That I will say. I don't think I've ever defended Mitch this much ever.
I'm about to say, you wild right now.
rebounds.
What you, yo, Lee is on it.
That guy does not box out at all. He gets offensive rebounds because the other team is not boxing out.
Then let's just say this: like, he
'Cause
averaged
he's
8
7'12",
rebounds, right?
That's why.
But Lee, he averaged 8 rebounds, right? But he averaged like 6 offensive.
Yeah,
So what is
it's
he doing on the other side?
That's what I
He
get.
averaged
arguments-
like a good 2 rebounds a game on the defensive side of the ball. That's crazy.
Yeah, I get in arguments with people because they talk about defending the rim, blocking shots, and that type of thing. In order to
That's
in
true,
basketball,
too.
in order to close down the defense, you have to secure the defensive rebound. That's the end of the defensive play.
Right.
You know, once you get that defensive rebound, you made the stop.
Like, it's not
But-
blocks. I would rather have a double-digit rebounder than a center that give me 2 blocks a game. I'd rather give me 12 rebounds.
Well,
and
here's
knock it down to 1 block a game.
Here's the other issue. is that it's hard to get rebounds when the team is shooting 60% against you.
We can't argue
That's
nothing.
definitely-
We can't argue.
You
I
can't.
can't argue that at all. You're right. Ain't
You
no damn
can't do-
defensive rebounds. They're
Right,
making
right.
everything.
And there's
Yeah, that
no
makes sense.
stat. Also, too, there's no stat for changing shots, right? So he may not get the blocks,
True.
but he may have the offensive player think twice about going to the rack. You know what I'm saying? So he's or defending the shot and not getting a block. There's no stat for that. So
But that's why
that
Rudy
takes you out
Gobert
of
was getting like defensive player of the year and shit like that.
Right.
He wasn't leading the league in blocks.
motherfuckers'
every year.
rotations are good.
Right.
He
He's
has
good at
good
everything
defensive-
else too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I saw, and I guess we're going to keep talking about basketball because I saw Rudy Gobert wanting out. He gave an ultimatum. I don't know how true it is. It's probably false, but looks like he gave an ultimatum, and people were already putting the Knicks jersey on Rudy Gobert.
No.
That's the ultimate troll.
No. See, don't do that. See, that's the thing. I don't even want. No. I don't
It's
want
too much
him,
money.
man.
It makes a lot of money at the center.
Yeah, but even in the playoffs, right? Making all that money, say we do get defensive player of the year, like they don't even have to guard you on the offensive end. Like when the playoffs come, it's a different ball game. Like if you can't score, I don't care how many defensive player of the year trophies you got over there. Like that's why your ass get knocked out in the first or second round every year.
Look who beat them this year. The freaking
Right.
Dallas Mavericks. Who was this guy going against him?
Yeah,
Powell,
who's
maybe?
the Maverick? Who's the Maverick center?
It's got to be Powell. Probably
Yeah.
Powell. I mean, I stopped watching basketball after the Knicks are done, but they it's terrible, dude. And it's weird that people would even want Rudy on the Knicks because one of the biggest complaints is people are complaining that Mitch clogs the paint or Julius Randle clogs the paint. RJ can't get in there. They're complaining about needing a stretch five and stuff like that. So if you get Gobert, it completely defeats the purpose of what people think the Knicks need.
Exactly.
But if they do that, they would have to get rid of Julius and Mitch. Get rid of both of them and just have an OB with Gobert.
Damn, that doesn't really.
That don't sound too bad, right?
I'm about to say, it really doesn't sound bad.
I think who would be
honest.
really good for Gobert? Somebody like either Harden or Chris Paul. He needs somebody like that, or maybe even a Luka Doncic who can play pick and roll with that, go with the pick and roll, who can play the triangle offense with him. No, because
Mike Conley all
Chris
this time
Paul-
though. I'm not saying Mike Conley is Magic Johnson or shit like that, but he's not. I didn't think he didn't suck all them years, especially when he was younger.
Yeah, but didn't he? I mean, he played well with Gasol, but isn't like Donovan? And I don't watch them at all, but isn't Donovan Mitchell like the ball dominant guy, and Mike Conley is just the outlet or something like that, or he's just bringing the ball up?
Yeah, you're
so
right.
it's kind of like
he doesn't have the the stain that he used to in the offense. You're right. He doesn't produce like he
He's
used to.
quiet too. As a point guard, he's like a church
He's
mouse.
always been like that. Yeah.
I don't know how you could be a point guard that caliber and not be a verbal,
Right. I was never the biggest fan of Mike Conley. I never thought why people thought he was all that, to be honest.
And at one point, he was the highest paid. Yeah,
Right. He was the highest paid player in the league at one point.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
insane.
Mike Conley?
Yeah, that's insane.
They had Lowry and Conley on the same team at one point. And they kept trying to kill Lowry's career for Conley to get pushed ahead.
See, a lot of people don't remember them
Memphis.
the Memphis years for Lowry. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he outplayed him, but they just want Conley because he was the higher draft pick. They wanted him to be the man. So
It makes sense. And plus, he probably was a little better defender also.
That's the
With
thing.
Lowry coming out of college and stuff.
That's the thing. Yeah.
He was small. Like, he's small now, but when he first came out of college, like, I would have put Mike Conley above him too. Just for intangible stuff.
Yeah, he was definitely a better defensive player.
Maybe they didn't like his butt, man. Lowry has a big old butt.
Even then,
Yeah,
he
I don't
rolled
know
over.
why. I don't know why Lowry has always been like my top two least favorite players in the league.
Least favorite? Why?
I think I think a lot of times I felt like people were overrating him. And then I found out he was from Philly, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give him a chance. But it was like I think people were like maybe Knicks fans were wanting him so much at one point, maybe even before he got to Toronto.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this dude is not even that good. Like,
Yeah, it's
why
the
would
way
anybody want him?
it's his mentality. He's the like if you think of the Knicks, Mike Lowry fits our mentality. That's
Yeah.
why.
He
You gotta
reminds me
think
of
about
Teresa Weatherspoon. That's what it is.
he reminds you of Teresa Weatherspoon.
Yeah, just get that.
I,
Look at the
Yeah,
pictures.
wow.
I love Spoon as a ball player. She
But wait,
was
hold
great.
on. But hold on. Not the fact that he
She was
picked a
a
woman
dog.
that's nuts. The fact why Teresa Weatherspoon of all players.
Well, do some googling. You got to do some research, and then you'll say, "Okay, I see what he's
He
talking
said
about."
Teresa got a donkey. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
said.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I remember those Liberty days. Yes, I remember those. I'm old too.
Man,
Remember, I remember those Liberty days. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
that's funny, man.
I wonder what's up with Spoon now. I ain't seen her in a minute.
Isn't she coaching or something like that?
I
She's
don't
with the
know.
Pelicans.
What is she?
Yeah, she's with the Pelicans. They were trying to give her the head coach
Oh,
job.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, she was a good ball player, man.
Yeah, she was nice.
Man.
All right, fellas. Thank you very much, man. This was dope.
Yeah,
Ebro, I
man.
appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you guys too.
I'm gonna listen to this future album and hit you guys back.
Man,
The
you gotta
greatest
give it a
rapper,
chance, man.
the
Eru, I
greatest
know
rapper
you.
alive right now.
I don't expect Eru to like none. Like he's not gonna like that shit. Like Eru don't like nothing.
First of all, when he comes to the Heat, he starts talking like, I messed up, I hit the wrong button.
He starts doing this.
Get out of here with that shit. Like, what are you
Yeah,
saying?
man. Like when it come to rap music, Eru is no frills. Like it got to be the hardest shit ever. Like
Yeah, Ebro,
straight
you a lock,
boom bap.
you a
know what I
locks
mean?
guy.
They
I don't know.
they too soft for Eru, yo. I'm telling you, Eru like if it's
Eru
not
like
like you gotta be
G-Rap.
somebody that shot somebody at least 12 times, man.
G-Rap is my goat. I
Who?
think
G-Rap?
G-Rap is
See,
your
that's
goat.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mafioso. Now, I mean, he can't, no flashiness unless somebody died for the
Sean
flash.
Price is my favorite all-time rapper. I think Sean Price.
See?
Who's your top five though? Who's your top five?
I can't do top fives anymore.
No?
Just for like everybody's top five, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, all that type of thing.
Right.
I can't do it
Yes.
anymore. So I'm like in my 40s now. So I get like, say it got to be my favorite rappers now. Like say like Mos Def is like one of them. Like Ghostface, that type of
Right.
thing.
Right.
Yeah. A couple
Eru
other guys.
is still in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm still in
Yeah.
the 90s, man. Fuck
Still
these
in the
young
90s.
guys.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that to diss them. That's
saying.
just how some people are like that.
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude.
I'm the opposite. Like I evolve with music. I like everything.
Well, I mean, there are some young guys that are good, musically and stuff like that. But it's just the ones that are in the mainstream, like the drill music and all this stuff. I can't really get with none of that stuff.
Oh yeah, drill. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
okay.
Drill. I'm not young enough to like drill music. I don't think.
Yeah.
At least not a
Yeah.
big fan of it. Like it's cool, but I don't diss it or nothing. But it's not my like. I don't
Right.
gravitate towards that shit at all. No.
Yeah, my son is 16, so there's some stuff that I'll listen to that he probably listens to that I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool to get into, but
Look at us sound like old ass.
yeah,
He said-
exactly.
My son is a
he said-
SoundCloud rapper.
He
bro.
said, "I'm cool."
Oh yeah,
You say your son is a SoundCloud? That's what's up.
He's a
that's
SoundCloud rapper.
dope.
I
That's
keep on
dope.
forgetting you got like an older son, man. That's what's up, dude. I'm not gonna say that you like his music because I know you don't. But
Well,
you know,
listen, some of the stuff that I've heard, I was like, yo, that shit was hot. I like that shit.
okay.
That's
There's
great.
all
That's
different kind of
great.
things, but he's like into like, he's like what's the dude like Tyler the Creator and all these different guys.
One of my
Like,
favorite
where it's
artists.
Like, yeah, well, I mean, he's wearing like sunflower shirts and like all
Oh,
kind of.
he's one of those. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He's an
all-
artifact
He's not a
rapper.
rapper. He's an artist. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
he's
saying.
an artist. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. He's an artist.
That's great, man.
He'll have dope
That's
shit where
dope.
he has girls singing and whatever. He wrote the hook and all this kind of stuff. But then he has his songs too. But he's like, man,
That's art,
you
Eru.
bullshit and give me a
That's
call.
art, man. It's not bullshit. That's music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, dude. You got to share it sometime, man. Instead of the StreamYard music, we got to play some of Ebru's son music.
Well, Lee, you a big hip hop fan?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
gotta get
man.
you on the show, man. I got a hip hop show that I actually have. It's called Bars and Shots. We go on live every Sunday at 1 o'clock.
All right, let me
We're
know,
like from
man.
1 to 3. Eru was on the show one time.
That's what's up.
He need to come back too.
All
Like
right, let's
Eru,
do it.
what's up?
Let's do it before the Jet season start because the Jets are always the 1 o'clock game. So
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do that. You should see me. I'm up here potting, talking about future album and shit. And then the Giants will be on my I got a big screen TV over here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually doing both at the same time. Like I mix music and sports all the time.
That's
I
dope,
always
man.
have something. Like last Sunday or this past Sunday, a couple days ago. Well, no, yesterday. Yeah, I'm watching basketball the whole time I was doing the show. We did the
Dope.
show from like 12:30 to like 2. The whole time I was watching the playoffs and doing that at the same time, talk about Future's album.
All right, that's what's up, man. I'm definitely down, man. Let me know. Would love
Yeah,
to
man,
do
we
it.
need to do that, man.
Would love to do it, man. All right, fellas.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
get
you,
this
man.
out of here because we forgot, like Jarrell. As soon as Jarrell gets another subject, there's another 30,
Oh
40.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
we
keep
could
going.
go.
I'm
We
sorry.
could go.
I can
Yeah,
keep
no,
going,
we could
man.
go. That would be crazy, man. But I see my wife looking at me out the corner of her eye.
Yeah, my
text-
wife was like,
text
"You
on
going to
phone.
eat dinner? What are you going to do?" Like,
Yeah, exactly. All right, fellas. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to
All right, man.
everybody who was in the chat and who
yeah,
tuned
shout out to
in,
the
man.
chat. Hey, yo, shout out to IQJ. He did a lot of comments. I was reading all of them. Like they like pretty good points. Like I like some of the stuff he was saying. Salute to Jay Crowder, Mr. Irrelevant. Like he's the best Mr. Irrelevant of all time. You know what I mean? And that's no debate. Like he's actually Mr. Irrelevant that actually play on the field and actually does stuff sometimes.
Word.
So salute to everybody in the chat too.
All right, y'all.
Thought about it. All right, guys.
Peace.
Catch you guys a little later. I'm gonna be going on like around 9:30 or so to talk basketball. Or whatever, so.
See, Eru crazy.
He wild.
It is fun. I love my wife, but I don't love her that much. You know what I'm saying? I think she's on a period anyway, too. So.
At least not on Mondays.
Jarrell, you got some room in your living room over
I
there.
know,
for
right?
Ebru?
Like, don't be coming all the way to PA talk about, she kicked me out.
I'm good, man. I'm good being homeless. I have no problem being homeless. I'm 47 years old, but I'll be right outside in the freaking street. Like, yeah, you put me look out
Can you
over here.
imagine? Yeah, it's cool to just, I wish all of us probably could wish we could just leave our responsibilities.
Yeah, right.
just for a week. I just want 2 days. I just want a weekend, fam. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Just give me a
crazy,
reason. If my
man.
wife divorced me, I'm gonna get a freaking discount. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Right now, she gets half. You know what I'm saying? But if we get divorced, at least I get to keep a little bit of it. So I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God, I can't believe you've thought of this already, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got it all mapped out. Like he with me in the draft.
You see me like Jerome got the cool Giants jersey on or whatever. You got everything you got going on. Look, this is what I got. I got the diehard E-Rule jersey. That's all I got going for me right now.
That's
shit,
crazy.
man.
Yeah,
You
you
gonna
got
take this?
divorce
You gonna
notes.
take half of this? Good, fuck it.
She gonna take the 8 off. She snatched the 8 off. You can be pissed though.
Oh shit, that's
all I
crazy,
got.
man.
You see,
Alright,
Jerome?
Yeah, nah, that's good.
I'm out.
This is
I'm out.
good. I'm out. Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
All right, yeah,
I'll let y'all, yo. Peace.